Hey, if it makes you feel better, so I actually got a picture of you. Don't rip it off. Luckily, I know a guy that can fix it. Yeah. I'm sure they'll give you that 4% discount.
Y'all stand right there. We're gonna do all this stuff.
I don't want to get in.
Make sure everything's good. Dear family and friends, we are gathered here today to celebrate the renewal of vows of Chris and Dan. Since time immemorial, people have performed ceremonies to mark a transition, a change of status. Today we gather for the happiest of ceremonies, to change the status from single individuals to married couples. Renew a vow. Traditionally, that change is indicated by the passing of the bride's hand from her family to her husband-to-be. Who brings this bride to be married to this man again? Father and I. Hold her hand. Today is the day that Chris and Dan will formally and publicly make their promises to one another again. Although this is indeed a high point, marriage is a journey. It's not a destination. Marriage is more than any one single event or promise. It is a series of decisions that have been made and will continue to be made over and over again. Every day, marriage is a promise that is renewed daily through a couple's actions and a responsibility taking on the spirit of faith and hope and love that brings comfort in times of sadness and heightens our greatest joy. Chris and Dan, may the promises you make this day live always in your hearts and in your homes, so that all which you share now deepen and grow through the years, leading you through a lifetime of happiness. Corinthians reminds us, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and it always preserves. A wedding is more than a celebration of the love which lives in our bride and groom's hearts today. It reaches into the future, and it proclaims their intentions for that which tomorrow shall hold. A couple who wed are not joined only by the mutual affection and love that they share, but also by their hopes, their dreams, and by their promises of what will be. The promises and vows they make this day shall guide them into their common future. I will ask you now if you are prepared to make these promises. Chris, have you come here today of your own free will to take Dan to be your husband, that you may live together as equal partners, sharing all that life has to offer? Okay. Will you love him, comfort him, honor and keep him all the days of your life? Dan, have you come here today of your own free will to take Chris to be your wife, that you may live together as equal partners, sharing all that life has to offer?
Boy, have I.
All right. Will you love her, comfort her, honor, and keep her all the days of your life?
I will.
Today is the public affirmation and acknowledgement of all that you are to each other. Seemingly, your relationship will be as it always has been. Yet there is power in the spoken word. May that power bring you all the warmth and closeness, security and comfort
joy and happiness that this world has to offer. Traditionally, the passage to the status of husband and wife is marked by the exchange of rings. These rings are a symbol of an unbroken circle of love. Love freely giving has no beginning and it has no end. No giver and no receiver, for each is the giver and each is the receiver. May these rings always remind you of the vows that you have taken.
Yes.
And you wanted something exciting. All right. May I have the rings, please? All right. Dan, I think you get first. Dan, do you take Chris to be your lawfully wedded wife? Do you vow to love her and care for her as long as you both shall live? Do you accept her with all of her faults and her strength, and offer yourself to her with all of your faults and all of your strength? Do you promise to be faithful and a loving companion, and to always put the promises you make this day above all else?
I do.
Will you now place the ring on your beloved's finger and repeat after me?
That's what I mean.
Okay, it's on.
Perfect.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Dan, repeat after me. I found the place.
All right.
I, Dan, take you, Chris,
I, Dan, take you, Chris,
to be my lawful wife,
to be my lawful wife,
to have and to hold
to have and to hold
from this day forward,
this day forward,
for better, for worse,
better for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
sickness and in health,
until death do us part.
till death do us part.
Christy, do you take Dan to be your lawfully wedded husband? Do you vow to love him and care for him as long as you both shall live? Do you accept him with all of his faults and strengths? And offer yourself to him with all of your own faults and strengths? Do you promise to be faithful and a loving companion, and to always put the promises you make this day above all else? Okay. Chris, will you repeat after me? I, Chris,
I, Chris,
take you, Dan, to be my lawful husband,
my lawful husband,
to have and to hold
to have and to hold
from this day forward,
from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
In your
for,
heaven,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and in health,
sickness and in health,
until death do us part.
until death do us part.
You have declared before all of us that you will live together in marriage. You have made special promises to each other, which have been symbolized by the joining of hands, taking of vows, and the giving and receiving of rings. By the authority vested in me by the Lord God Almighty, I now pronounce you to remain husband and wife. With abiding confidence and affection, we send you both forth on your journey of life together. May you be filled with thanks and wonder and humor, fun, hope, perseverance, and so that you may grow in wisdom and grace. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all kiss the bride.
yeah.
All right, turn around, face the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, loved ones, it's with great pleasure that I now introduce to you again Mr. and Mrs. Lawrence Daniel Schneider.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. We're about to have cake if I can figure out where it's at. But thanks for coming out.
Hey. Woo.